Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Drew, and I want to welcome you back to Learn How to See Better. It's the only podcast out there that'll improve your vision the longer you listen. And today I want to talk about something that is a new experience for me and something that I'm still learning. Because the funny thing about life is as you go through it, you may experience a sense of déjà vu at some point. Déjà vu? What are you talking about? Déjà vu is that sense where you've felt like you've been through an experience before. You maybe walk into a room. It's like, wait a minute, have I experienced this before? The color of the room, the way the tables are set up, the people in the room, maybe the music that's playing. You might have a duplicate experience or an experience that makes you feel like you've been there before or you've experienced in the past. Sometimes it's just a figment of the imagination. Sometimes there might be elements of that experience that are similar enough in their characteristics that they make you think of another situation or scenario you've been in. So what's the relevance of this? Why am I talking about this? Because it has to do with recognizing and having an awareness of when you sense something that you've been through before. How quickly can you pinpoint that? If you went through the scenario 10 times, would it still seem mysterious? Or would you be able to say, hey, that actually takes me back to 2008 when I went to an event and met these people, and these were the circumstances why here in present day, when I have a similar experience, I'm associating it mentally or subconsciously to a prior event. Now, the better you can get at that pattern recognition process, the better you're going to be able to start to identify patterns in your own world and your own day-to-day life that don't actually serve you, which is kind of wild. It's like you're finding a way to perform an efficiency audit of your own thought process. And I had the opportunity to go through this recently where I recognized a pattern. I was thinking, interesting. In my mind, I didn't look at it as a negative thing, but the reality of it was this was a pattern that I saw did not serve me. So the high level of the scenario was I had an opportunity to share some information with people about experience I've had, some accolades that I've enjoyed in business. Okay. Now, with this opportunity, I thought initially it'd be great to share some of the things I've learned and how might I be able to light a candle for others because my candle's lit. I've gone through the paces, I've gone through the process of learning and applying things in business that might help a group of other entrepreneurs benefit. But what I noticed was the process of thoughts that on the heels of my excitedness to add value, contribute, to help others benefit and also succeed, there's a separate series of thoughts that kind of came through like a fast moving storm and said, I don't know. That's not that valuable. Anyone can do that. Everybody already knows that. This ain't all that groundbreaking. So all of a sudden, as soon as I'd become excited about the opportunity to share and contribute, there was this, let's call it an egoic response. The hater in my head came to play. It's like the ego wanted to rear its head and say, yeah, but, there's always, that type of personality out there that you share a contribution and someone's like, yeah, well, I did better than that. We call them one-uppers. Sometimes there's people out there looking to one-up you and take your accolades or your achievements and kind of downplay them a little bit and say, well, mine's better. Well, in this instance, there was kind of that same thing going on, but it was me. It was thoughts in my head tearing down what I had done and basically saying it wasn't good enough, attacking my worthiness. It's like, is that the evil? Is that the ego? Or is that the evil of the devil, creeping around? So I had to think about that because I actually was going to not throw my name in the hat to make these contributions to a group of people that could benefit from what I had to share and what I had to say based on recent achievements. And so I feel as though the personal breakthrough moment I had was being able to sense the feelings that came with the hater in the head showing up and starting to downplay some of my achievements. Like, that's not that good, not that impressive. You're not all that. You don't belong, up at the front of the room sharing. And And that made me not feel good. I could feel the vibe, the excitement that I had just a couple of minutes earlier really just start to deflate. Like, whoa, this whoosh of negative energy flowing through me. I could sense my frequency changing. I didn't like it. And that was my clue. My clue was, I don't like this experience. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this situation where I have an idea or I have an opportunity. I get excited. I realize it's something I want to do. And then on the back side of that same series of thoughts was this flood of negative. Like, no, 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 no. It's like the fun police came out. The happiness police came out to get me and take all my feelings away and replace them with, the feeling of being a Bergen, like in that movie Trolls for kids. You got the happy trolls and you got the Bergens that live in Bergen Town that are always just meh about everything. But the kicker is that the faster that you can recognize some of these patterns, the faster you can say, hey, wait, hold it. That's bogus. That's a bogus belief. That's not accurate. It's not real. Let's take that and shut it down. Stop, halt, delete, rephrase, and reframe. And so once I was able to see the pattern, I said, wow, I think this kind of reminds me of, I've experienced this before. It's kind of like the high and the low. You have a good sensation, and then right on the heels of that, there's something coming to knock you down. Well, the faster you can recognize that pattern, the faster you can do something about it and say, hey, wait a minute. Hey, hold it. That's just that old hater in the head showing up to heckle me. It's like your greatest performers in let's just say sports. I'd say in life, but let's even say in sports for a quick analogy. They're used to the hecklers showing up. They're expecting the hecklers. The difference is they don't let the hecklers get to them. You think that just because somebody's going to be sitting on the sidelines watching Steph Curry, put up 30, 40, 50 points and a whole bunch of 3-pointers, there will be someone saying, you're not the GOAT, you're not the greatest, you're not this, you're not that. It could be Michael Jordan. It could be any performance athlete that operates at the pinnacle. I guarantee you there's hecklers out there. You pick on Tom Brady, the GOAT of all the quarterbacks, played till he was like 80 years old. Just kidding. It was more like 45. But there were some people that didn't like him because he'd been winning all these Super Bowls. Well, I want someone else to win it. I'm tired of seeing him be number one, right? It's a form of a heckler. Do you think he worried about that when he stepped on the field? Well, I guess I won too many Super Bowls. I probably shouldn't try to win anymore because the hecklers and the haters out there say I shouldn't. It's nonsense. But what about when it's happening in your own head? How quickly can you recognize that pattern and shift and say, no, I reject that. This is what the truth is. I am qualified. I am capable. I am skilled and valuable. These are the retorts. These are the responses you have to that hater in your head to break that pattern so that you can be unencumbered by those unserving thoughts and move forward. So in this case, I was able to push past that negativity, put my name in the hat, have an opportunity to share my growth, my learnings, and my progress with a group of people that, surprisingly enough, had a great response and a very positive reaction to the info I had to share. There was even people coming up to me later asking more, to learn more. How'd you do that? How'd you pull that off? Give me some of your insights. And it made me realize, wow, I could have chosen to listen to the hater in my head and devalue my contributions to the point that I didn't even make the contributions. What a travesty that would have been. The others wouldn't receive the value I have to share because I discounted it, because my ego came in and nitpicked at the accomplishments and tried to devalue them or downplay them and say they weren't good enough. But once I was able to recognize that pattern, I said, I'm calling this right now. And I'm going to stop the train, replace this set of thoughts, and make a different course of action. And I'm pleased to say that I achieved a different result. I got a positive response. And most of all, it reminded me and made it clear in my head that these are the instances that you push past. They can really become bigger breakthroughs, because the sooner you recognize one pattern, you'll notice another. And the idea is to audit and eradicate all of the negative thought processes that are not working for your greater good. Get the ego out of the way, tune into your higher power version of self, and make the best of your life experience without being encumbered by negative, non-serving thoughts. But it starts with you recognizing the pattern and being willing to shift and break it and take a new approach. So learn from me and what I was able to experience here recently. I just wanted to bring that perspective that I still have negative thought patterns sometimes that work against me. But the key is recognizing those patterns and being able to pivot quickly so that they don't steal your power. So for all of you today listening to this, go out, be powerful, push through. Don't listen to the hater in your head. Recognize the patterns that can empower you and take advantage of those so you can optimize your own mindset, performance, and lean into your best version of you for the greater good. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you on the next one.
That hater in my head try to drag me down. I reject that noise, flip the script, turn it around. I'm qualified, capable, gifted, yeah, I said. Ain't no power like the one when I silence that hater in my head. Ain't no power like the one. Ain't no power like the one. Ain't no power like the one when I silence that hater in my head.